excited. I know y'all pushed really hard to reach us, and I know that so many of my girls were like, "Oh my gosh, I get to be on here! Like, this is the place to be on a what day is it? Wednesday night with these people." I never know what day it is. I'm sicker than a dog because Ambassador is a rough life. Okay, but I am just super pumped for this because I know that what you're about to learn is going to take you so much farther beyond the 500 Club will. The next goals of Ruby and Diamond, and heck, to be the number one income earner. All of these girls are coming after you, Steph. They're ready. But I think Rachel's on here. Jade, I don't think it's on here yet, but Rachel can start it.
Okay. Hi, Rach. I just heard you last night. Always speaking life. So anyways, I want Rach, you to kind of share like 1 minute of your story. I know it's like the hardest part. That is the hardest part, but just kind of share a little bit about your journey for those of people who, because we have a lot of newbies on here, which is super exciting.
Okay, yeah. So I think it's funny that she had to say that because I took like 25 minutes to talk about my story last night. I just felt, I don't know, sometimes when I feel called to, you have to keep talking. So that's my life. So that's really funny you said that. So I'll keep it under 1 minute. So I've been with It Works for 4.5 years now. And I just won Ambassador last month. So that's really cool. But if we were to rewind back to when I started, and some of you guys might be in this position now, It Works found me when I was 21 years old. I did things completely out of order. I got pregnant when I was 20, right in the middle of my college education. And if it wasn't for my parents paying for my college, I would have been a college dropout, but I was kind of forced to stay. They paid halfway through and they're like, you're not going to drop out. So I got pregnant in college. I had my son in college. I was on government assistance. I was a full-time waitress around my college schedule. And I was planning our wedding. And so I wasn't looking for It Works because I had tried a network marketing company fresh out of high school. And when I was 19 years old, and it just was not, we didn't mix very well. So I had the mindset that if I suck at one company, then it's probably because I'm the issue, right? Not the company, it's me. I'm not a salesperson. So It Works definitely found me. There was one person posting about it on social media. I asked her about the products. I didn't have the money. She talked to me about the business side, and honestly, like the rest is history. I mean, it's like I have like the typical story where I didn't have the money to join. I used a credit card, called Zach's emergency line. This was not his idea of an emergency. He said no. I did it anyways. Because I was so busy, failing wasn't an option. I mean, I had to make a lot of sacrifices, and I was determined to get the $10,000 bonus at the time in 3 months, and that was it. You had to go diamond in 3 months to get it, and I did that. My senior year of college, I did it. I was freshly 22 years old. 2 months later, we went double diamond, and Zach went diamond, and we quit our job the next day. So 5 months in, we both quit our jobs. I finished my degree, and we went triple a year after, presidential a year after, and then ambassador last month. So that's my 1 minute story.
Dude, that's so crazy. Okay. So one question that I want, you to answer is kind of to talk about what it took for you to kind of get the vision. Cause I think when you get in, you're like, okay, $200, $300, whatever, I'm trying to scrape the ground to get, and a lot of times I feel like that's the missing link is people just can't see past the struggle that's right in front of their face. And so you came from, the struggle and just kind of understanding like the switch in your mindset of like, I can have this, and not feeling like, oh my God, these people are like way, different than me, just looking at them and being like, holy crap, like if they can do it, then so can I.
Yeah, so I think about that because Cheyenne said she was like, this is more so for like, casting the vision in the beginning and stuff. So I was trying to channel myself back to the beginning before this because I was like, that's a long time ago, and I think about that a lot and how different it is now and then. And I think about I think that the biggest thing is like, I was just so unhappy with where I was at. I mean, our son was 8 months old and, he didn't even know his dad because Zach was always working. And so Zach would see him for like 5 minutes before bedtime. And it's just like, I was in a point in my life where I was so unhappy and living paycheck to paycheck, feeling like there's got to be more to life that it's like, and it sounds so cliche because we say it over and over again, but it's like, if your why is strong enough, you will make it to the top. And that was just how it was, is I just, I was in a position where nobody had really known in the area, nobody had heard of it. So it's like, it was kind of like a catch-22. It was awesome because I got in at a good time, but then it was hard because nobody had heard of it. So it's like a scam, you know, and you have to fight it that much harder. So it wasn't like it was just super easy just because we promoted really fast in the beginning. But I think that the biggest thing that helped me was that when I joined, I didn't join wanting to be a stay-at-home mom. I didn't join with all of those visions just came as like the money came in. It's like I was able to dream even bigger. But the biggest thing was like failing just not being an option. I had people that were expecting me to fail. I had people that made statuses about me. I had all of the things that a lot of us deal with, and I was terrified, but I had enough drive because I wanted more out of my life, and I knew that nothing else was going to do it but this business. And so just like you said in the beginning, Kelsey, it's like you're never in this business, you're never too big to grow and to learn. And so when I was told to copy the right cat, and I was told to follow, you know, Tiffany, her, a couple other things have changed. So some of the people that I was told to follow, I would not follow now. They're not in business, but like I was told to follow those people that were killing it at the time, and I did it. And so when Tiffany was posting, I was posting. When she was saying something funny, I was saying something funny, because it was literally ignorance on fire. And so I think the biggest thing besides having like a why and a reason that's strong enough to push you through is letting failing not be an option. Like no more what if I do this, and what if this doesn't work out, and what if, and like channeling it into positivity. I just feel like our minds are we're so negative. I feel like everybody, you join and you just think about all the things that could go wrong instead of flipping it to what could go right. And so I couldn't fail. I had too many people that would have enjoyed that too much, I think. And one of them being my husband. And so that was enough to push me. And that was enough to, I think what helped me visualize for myself was copying the right cat and following them and seeing their lives. And they were making so much money. And I was like, I mean, I know I haven't even met, like, I didn't know any of them. I didn't know any of them. I didn't know Jade. I didn't know any of them, but I saw it was real through them. And I just saw that I was no different than them. And so I think when you establish that and you realize that, like, even though I felt like at the time I had all of the odds stacked against me, I was no different than them, and I deserved it. And I knew that. I knew it was going to be hard, and I knew that I was busy, and again, all the odds stacked against me, but I knew that I was worthy, and my son was, and my family was. So because of that, like, failing wasn't an option. But real quick, because even though failing wasn't an option, that does not mean it wasn't hard. So I still dealt with everything everybody else had to deal with, and I still had to fight extra hard. But when those times were hard, I just had to push through them, because the easy way out would have been to quit, but that wasn't an option for us. So we never did.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that because, you know, I think the business, sometimes you think, okay, well, quitting isn't an option, or failing isn't an option, right? But I always say, like, failing is inevitable. It's just what you do after it, right? Like, my dad always used to tell me, I mean, he's not the one who made this up, but he's the one person that I heard it from. But, like, you know, life is 1% what happens to you and 99% how you respond to it. And so, you know, we all go through the same type of struggles, like what are people going to think? I don't know if I have enough people to talk to, and all of those things. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to, so what are you going to do about it? You know, Gary Vee made this one thing. He said, I'm going to make a radio show called And people are going to call in and they're going to be like, okay, well, my dad, he's in jail, and my mom, she died of a drug overdose, and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, and and like, not that, like, that's he's trying to be, you know, not sensitive about it, but like, at the end of the day, what are you going to do about it? And so, you know, I think that the biggest thing, like, I saw somebody say, like, I just feel like I'm running out of people to talk to, and I'm having a hard time people buying the product. Like, the one thing I would say to that is, have you convinced yourself that these products are worth buying? Because everything that I struggled with when I started, like, somebody saying it was a pyramid scheme, it was because subconsciously I had not gotten over that rebuttal myself. Like, I didn't know how to respond, and I was almost attracting other people to say something like that because I didn't know how to respond to it. And so until I debunked that and figured out, oh, this isn't a pyramid scheme because of X, Y, and Z, now nobody ever says that crap to me anymore because I'm about to be prepared for an answer right when. And so it is a learning process, but like, the people that you're going to hear tonight talk, their success is built on a pile of failures. Okay. That's it. And so, if you could just like be vulnerable of like one thing that you really struggled with, when you started and how you got through it. Because I want people on here to know that like, they're not alone and they can still be successful going through the challenging times. And, you know, I was watching one of Brittany Hayes' videos and she said, I don't like to say the word hard. I like to say the word challenging because people like a challenge. But if something's hard, we won't do it. Right. So like, let's just say challenge. So if you kind of touch on maybe something that you struggled with or that was a challenge for you?
I would say two things. One being, you guys, so whoever, I can't read a comment. I'm on a freaking iPad. I don't have anything really set up in my house, so I'm literally in an empty office on my iPad. So I have a little bit of anxiety because I'm used to like being really professional.
It's like it's like the echo too from an empty room. I'm dying.
Oh my gosh, that's so annoying. I'm sorry. So I can't see the comments, but for those people, sorry, I'm gonna talk quieter so I don't echo. But for those people that are saying like you're feeling like you're running out of people to talk to and whatnot, like I only had just under 200 people when I started. You know, getting pregnant in college and being on a different path, like all my friends were getting like turned in the club and I'm here having a baby, raising a baby. So like I had deleted a lot of people off my social media. I was like in my own little la land as a young mom, like pitying myself. And so I had a small social media too. And so I think that was one of the challenging things was like, I felt like that too, because I was so hungry. My first week, I was so hungry. I feel like I tapped out like that first week because I was talking to everybody and their brother. So that was something that was hard, but you know, it's social media. And this is something like one of the things that I always say to my potentials is like, so it doesn't matter if you're in your own little bubble, like it doesn't matter what town you live in, social media is a godsend. And I will always stand behind that because it's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful. So you just have to expand your network every day. And I know that's just not probably the answer you want to hear, but I dealt with that too. And then the other thing that was really challenging in the beginning and also like a regret of mine, or, you know, we always get those questions of like, what is something you would change? And I think the biggest thing is like, I'm an emotional person. I'm very emotional. And so I've also grown a lot. So like rewind back 4.5 years, I was a freaking mess. And I felt the need to always explain myself when I had somebody like a naysayer, you know, and then when the naysayers were in the family, I felt like I needed to be even louder on Facebook. And so that was something challenging that I remember. And I feel like I can always connect with people that have, you know, those people that maybe aren't 100% understanding it and are negative, because I dealt with that too. And a lot of us deal with that. So something that I wish I wouldn't have soaked up so much was the negative. And I think it's funny. I remember as a Zoom that Jade, or a live video that Jade did. And it was something like, she was like, you will never see me make a status talking about what someone said about me because that's only drawing more attention, something like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, here I am. Every time someone said something mean about me or it works, I was like, I got to make a status about it because I need them to know that I heard them and it hurt me. So that was one of the biggest challenges in the beginning because like I said, nobody knew what It Works was. So it was a pyramid scheme. I was a scam. I was lying, all of those kind of things I had to deal with. And I always had to bring them to light because it hurt me. So I would just say, but I don't ever deal with it anymore. Just like Kelsey said, like people don't ever come with her about the pyramid scheme. Like I don't have haters anymore. You just have to be strong and you have to focus on the positivity and just the fact that at the end of the day, the people that are hateful and mean and those people that aren't making you feel bigger, it just comes down to ignorance and them being uneducated or unhappy. I wish I would have known then what I know now, and that it wasn't me that was the issue. It was something deeper within them.
Yeah, I love that. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Shay, did you want to ask anything? I just want to make sure I covered it. Okay, cool. We're going to go to Jade. Jade, you were late. You were late, so we had to start with Rachel.
Oh, I can unmute myself. Hi.
Yeah, I don't like put it on lockdown. I probably should.
I was just live. I was live with my diamonds telling them how they can make, I swore. I'm like, this is how you can make shit tons of money. So I was teaching them about cabs and generation bonuses real quick before we got on.
No, it's totally fine. Okay. So can you just share like a 60-second snippet about your story real quick?
Sure. Hey guys, I'm Jade. I am forever breastfeeding my children, always in this business. I will be 67 years old breastfeeding a child because that's what I've been doing for the last 5.5 years that I've been in this business. But I joined in 2013. I grew up broke. My mom was a single mom. She worked 3 jobs. I moved out when I was 18 with my husband. I did all the things that we were taught to do. I went to cosmetology school, got out. The day that I graduated, I was 21. I had a job the next day. 6 months later, I became a salon manager, and I was like, I'm living the life. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. We're not struggling for the first time. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. And that was like the highlight of life for me. And I became a mom, and I realized that, you know, working for someone else doesn't really work when you're trying to like be a parent. I didn't want that. So, you guys, it was like before I got into this business, I was like, it was bad. Like like I spent a year being a mom, just feeling sorry for myself. We were hanging up sheets in our living room to keep the heat in because we couldn't afford to turn our heat on. I was making my own laundry soap. I was washing our clothes in the bathtub. I was couponing everything. I was calling every company we had a bill with. I mean, I was nickeling and diming my life to death. And I finally just realized on my son's first birthday that I just spent the last year of his life nickel and diming my life. And I knew what the rest of his life was going to look like if I did not change something, because I lived that life. My friends were giving me their clothes, so I had clothes when I was in high school. My friends were buying my lunch so I could eat, or I did not eat. And I knew what that life was going to look like for him. And there was just no way. There's no way I was going to let that happen to him. So I found this business on Facebook. The girl told me we sold wraps on Groupon. Just goes to show you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, because we absolutely, and Living Social, which I don't even think is around anymore. But yeah, and I got started, you guys, and within, I started for $200 because I didn't believe I could make more. And within 5 months, I replaced my full-time income, and the next month we had earned $50,000 in bonuses, and it's just been, now I'm the number 3 money earner. Boop, boop.
Just raining money over there when you're breastfeeding. You're just like drowning in it with breast milk. Okay.
I'm like, every time I have another child, we make more money. So we have to have like 12 kids. Watch out, Steph. Kid number 13. I'm coming for you.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay. So I want to ask you what you would say to newbies who are dealing with maybe they've signed a distributor or two and they're not doing anything, right? We've all heard that, like, nobody on my team is working, and how to get over that and through it. I mean, because I know I've been there. You know, I was salty when I signed my first CT, and I thought I was going to go to the top of the company and go ambassador with that person. And then womp womp, lo and behold, she decided she didn't want to do it.
Well, first of all, like, you know, there's nothing necessarily wrong with you. You're not doomed. I've kind of learned that there's just no mistake that you can make in this business that's going to determine that you're just not going to be successful, because quite the contrary, guys, even I've been contacted by compliance before. Okay. Like, but you live and you learn, you make mistakes and you learn from it. You know what I mean? And, with new people, well, here's my questions for you. Number one, are you in a state where you feel like, oh my God, I don't even know what I'm doing, so how am I supposed to help someone else get started? Because you're literally going to attract people who don't want to work because you're afraid that they're not going to work anyways because you don't know what you're doing. So that's the first thing. So I think it's having like a really good sort of plan with your upline and say, hey, you know, Kelsey, I just enrolled my first distributor. Can you help me help her? That's fine. We don't expect you to know what the heck it is that you're doing. We don't expect you to know. We're here to help you. So lean on us. The next thing is, you know, just again, it's like having that plan for getting them started. But at the end of the day, you guys, like, quit. Go ahead. I know where I'm going. I'm not going to go slash my other 3 tires just because one of them popped. Like, dang, I know where I'm going. I was doing this for my son. I was doing this for my family. I wasn't doing this for so-and-so who didn't believe in themselves. And I'm sure as heck not going to, you know, jump off the bridge just because they did, you know? So, and it is hard because, guys, listen, I remember, like, I literally was about to sell my left toe, like my left foot, like, and well, anybody please join my team. I will give you my foot. Like, you started to get into this place where you feel desperate. And you guys, you don't need to be desperate. It's about this. It's about your story. It's about knowing where you've been. And that's good. Share with people where you've been and share with them where you're going. And that's all that it takes, is just sharing your story and letting them know that you are so real. And and share that. And you'll find those people who have that vision, but a lot of the people who you enroll are going to be the reflection of who you were at the time that you planted that seed with them. And that can be kind of intimidating, but what you got to do, it's what I've been doing forever. I close my eyes and I say, I can do this, and I'm willing to learn. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to make mistakes today, but I'm going to learn from them, and tomorrow's going to be even better. And I give myself grace.
Yeah, I love that. One thing that always sticks with me is, you're always juggling balls, like, right? So you're going to be juggling like being a mom, being a wife, being a business owner, whatever, and you're probably going to drop like one ball each day. You just can't make it be the same ball 2 days in a row. Right. And that's kind of like my rule of thumb to give myself grace is like, okay, well, drop that ball, but tomorrow I'm going to do better. And trying to manage that. So I love that. And I think, I'm not going to slash the 3 tires just because one of them popped. I love that too. Kind of what would you say to people who are kind of the opposite? They've went Ruby, or they're, just starting, they have a ton of momentum. How do you keep that momentum going in your business? Like, oh my gosh, maybe they hit the 500 club. Maybe they just signed a couple distributors and they're just like, holy crap, like I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm ignorance on fire. How do I keep going and keeping this momentum?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, like we never really know what we're doing at the end of the day. I really have to be honest. Like, I think I've just been creative and just trying my best every day and trying new things. Stephanie and I were just talking about this. I think it was yesterday. And, I don't really have an upline. I had nobody guiding me. It's literally been me every day being like, okay, we're going to try this. We're going to go for it. I'm going to use the things that I learned yesterday. I'm going to learn the things that I learned from other people. I'm going to apply that today. If something didn't work, I'm going to be willing to tweak it. You guys, it literally just comes down to being willing. You have to stop getting your panties in a bunch every single time someone gets upset when you say something to them. And you just have to understand that you are coming from such an amazing, genuine place. You're not trying to offend anybody. But basically, to answer your question, is you need to know where you're going right now, and then like where you want to be in like 6 months, basically. So if I was going Ruby, my goal is to go Ruby this month. I want to have my Ruby chart in front of me, and then I want to have my Emerald chart in front of me. I want to know that once I get my Ruby chart full, I'm working on that Emerald chart. So kind of how I like to teach my team, and like a good rule of thumb, I think, is that you're filling your chart for your next promotion this month, and you're promoting to the one before this month. So I would be filling my Emerald chart this month, but promoting to Ruby. Next month, fill your Diamond chart, promote to Emerald. So you're always that like step ahead. You're always a step ahead. You always got tons and tons of volumes, tons of things going on. More people on your team kind of gives you more options for who could be doing what. And that always keeps your eye on the prize, you guys. We are so blessed with our charts. Some people like hate them, but they are such a blessing because it's literally that roadmap. It is literally that roadmap. If you want to make $2,000, go be Diamond. You want to make 6,000 or 4,000 or whatever, go be double. You want to make your salary in 1 month, go be ambassador. And now it's even easier to do it. So it's just a matter of just plugging those people in. It starts with one, just get one, breathe, smile, clap, hooray, and then do it again and just keep plugging along.
I wanted to add, I think one of the biggest things that I've always I go to Jade about everything. Like, well, this didn't work. And she's like, kind of just like what Kelsey was saying earlier. I feel like it's like the tough love that's needed. Jade is always just like, okay, this happened. Figure out what you're going to do about it and like keep going. And I know Kelsey always says this, like, come up with the problem and find the solution. I feel like Jade's really good about that. So what would you say about people, where they are going for a promotion, or maybe now that they're in the 500 club, they're going for Ruby or whatever, and it seems like it fell apart, or it's too far, or the volume is too much. Like, what would you say to those people?
I think that the pressure is what gets to be a lot. It's that pressure. We feel pressure and it just kind of cripples us and our chest gets heavy. And we just start having all these crazy thoughts that go into our head, like, I can't do this, this isn't going to work, and all these things. But we can tell a completely different story too. But I mean, you can give yourself 5 seconds to cry about it. But if you sit here and just wallow in self-pity, it's kind of like, I always say it's like playing possum. When a possum gets scared, it just keels over and does nothing. Like, you're going to get further, at least trying to do something, than just playing dead and doing nothing at all. That's not going to get you anywhere. But every every day, every week, every month. It is literally just a learning curve. So maybe you need to do what I did. When I first got started, so in January, I was a ruby in 2014, and I wanted to be diamond so bad. And I'm like, I don't even know how this is gonna happen. But I said, you know what? When in doubt, by December, I will be a diamond, and I will be with my son, and I'm going to work so hard. Come hell or high water, this is going to happen. I'm not going to give up on myself. And then what's so crazy is when I gave myself a deadline, but I kind of took the pressure off. All of a sudden I just exploded, because I was the one that was putting all these these ridiculous expectations and boundaries on myself, that no one did that. And guess what, guys? In November, I went presidential. I was one skip from the top of the company, making ambassador diamond checks, just because I took that pressure off. We torture ourselves. Well, if I'm not, such and such by this date, then I'm going to stop. But you're literally setting yourself up to fail. You're kind of wanting yourself not to get there. You're asking for yourself to fail. And that's why you're putting these boundaries. But so I'm going to try to be, I'm going to be a mom forever. So I don't care if it's next year or next month that it is that I replace my full-time income. You know what I mean? So why does it matter? Why does it matter when it happens? Of course I want it now. So I'm going to work with the intentions of doing it right now, but I'm not going to crumble under those pressures. And kind of like what Rachel was talking about, you guys, people are negative. I'm going to tell you something. You are wasting your time and energy and vibe and your goodness if you are trying to just do this to impress people. Because when I got started, I was like, oh, so-and-so, man, I can't wait till I'm a double diamond or I'm a diamond. They'll believe me then. When these people, when I'm a diamond, then they'll finally believe me that I can be successful. And guess what? None of them care, and they still didn't believe me. Do you know people that I'm super close to that I think I've been spending the last 5 years trying to impress just so I could have their, their permission and acceptance? When I became the number 3 money earner, they were like, huh. I was like, what does a girl got to do to impress some people? Jeez. But then I learned they're never going to be impressed. They're never, they can't even wrap their brain around what it is that I'm doing anyway. So it's less about me and more about the problems that they have with themselves. They don't believe that they could do it. So of course, if someone told me they were going to go run 10 miles, I'd be like, why would you even want to do that? But that's because I would never want to. But deeper than that, I don't even know how I would do it because I'm not capable of it. That's what's in my head. So we kind of just you gotta get over that, and you gotta focus on what you want and what's good for you. And when you start to just understand that this is about your dreams and your family and not the opinions of other people, everything's just going to change.
I love that so much, because I think even for me, that's something that I struggle with is and I feel like the competitive side of a lot of people, it's just ingrained in us is we want more and we want to do more and we want to always be more. And, that's what makes us successful. But that can also, be, if we don't know how to rein it in, it can be kind of the dead end too to things, because we put so much pressure on ourselves. And so I constantly have to remind myself, and just being totally vulnerable with everybody on here, my husband had to have a conversation with me where I had to pull my head out of my butt. And he was like, listen, I don't care if we save $100,000 this year. If we didn't grow our relationship, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And, it's so easy to get caught up in well, this person's doing this and this person's doing this, and I'm only making 25,000, but I really want to be making 35,000. And you're thinking, and it's so easy to get caught up in that game. And you just have to step back and say, we are making money from our cell phones. What is this life?
Well, it's not a race. It's not a race. And I have to remind myself, I've been in the top 10 now for 4 years, something. I don't know, a long time. I've never gotten out of it, and I was feeling for a while oh my gosh, I had kids. I've had this, I've had family stuff going on. I've had life, I've had all these things. And sometimes, I know you guys, even just beginning your business, you can start to feel well, if my kids would just chill out, then I'd be able to work. If my husband would just step up, then I would be able to work and be successful. And we start to try to put a face to the name of the reason why we can't be successful. And at the end of the day, you guys, I lived years of that. And there was resentment towards my husband, resentment towards my kids, unfortunately too. And then resentment against my business. And I was just not happy, like, period. But what I had to realize was, number one, this isn't a race. It's not a race. It's the competitiveness, but it's also like, we have that mentality, like there's only room for one person to get wherever. And that's just not true. A million people can make $100,000 a month in this business, and there's still more money to be printed and made and given. You know what I mean? It's unlimited, but your husband's not in your way, and him stepping up, you know, doesn't mean anything. You got to validate them, because unfortunately, one of the things that happens when we start to do kooky things like join this business, they start to feel like, well, am I not good enough anymore? And we start to dream really big. And they're like, is my wife out dreaming me? Like, and that's a real thing. That's a real thing. So love on your spouses, love on your kids. They're not getting in your way. The problem is you don't know how to own your time and tell your time where to go. And that's going to help you save so much heartache in the long run, is if you just work, it doesn't have to be perfect right now, but you just work on being self-sufficient with your time. And I can be a mom of 3 kids. I spend time with my husband, and I feel more productive and successful now than I ever have, with being as busy as I ever have been.
Yeah. Well, that was really good. I appreciate you so much for hopping on and taking your time. It doesn't go unnoticed. I appreciate it. So I know Thanks. You guys are busy, and thank you. Okay, where's Erin? Is Erin Tweed on here? Where are you at, Erin?
Hi, I'm here.
Hi, Mama. Okay. Congrats on little baby boy. Erin just had her 3rd little baby. And just kind of share a little bit about your story, just a tiny bit.
Yeah, so I have been in the business almost 5 years now. I got started because I was a nurse working full-time, Monday through Friday, nurse navigator. And so I just got really tired of missing moments with my son, and then, fighting about money with my husband, because childcare was expensive, and then, everything else that you want to try and do and add in. So I ended up I wanted the hair, skin, and nails because I did the mom chop, regretted it, and wanted to try out the products. Found this business. Somebody asked me, my enroller asked me, have you thought about making money using the products? And I was like, okay, I'm going to go for it. I mean, I might as well. I did that, started posting on social media, working that way. There's so much that's happened. So 14 months in, I will just jump right to that. 14 months in, I was able to leave my job as a nurse. And so now we've been going 3.5 years. Kyle's been home for 4 years. But we've been 3.5 years for me full-time at home. We've gone through the gamut of life. So we have a 5-year-old boy. We have our daughter, Ellie, who is 15 months. And she was our IVF baby because we went through unexplained infertility. And so we're able to pay cash for that, built our dream home. In the process of moving out of our other house into this house, we got pregnant again. God has a sense of humor. And so when she was 7 months old, we got pregnant naturally. And so now last Tuesday, I had our 3rd baby. And so he was born with cleft lip and cleft palate. And so that is another portion of our story, as we're going through treatments and he'll have surgery and all that kind of stuff. We don't have to worry about missing moments or, paying for those kind of things. And so it's just, it's been the biggest blessing, but so much life has happened in 5 years.
Congrats. He's literally so cute. I'm so excited
Thank
for you. But I wanted to ask you, when do you think it was the point when you got started that you truly caught the vision of, oh, I can retire myself from nursing. This isn't just a few $100s at the beginning. This is actually something that I can be legit rich with and be able to stay home.
So for me, and you guys will have to bear with me because I still am getting used to all my aligners and have not been wearing them like I should this week. So it's I feel like I'm talking funny. But
Invisalign.
Yeah, my Invisalign. I feel like I'm being crazy with my mouth, and it's probably you guys don't even notice, but I do. So for me, I would say going to like my first conference. So my second month in, I hit Ruby and I made $500 extra a month, which is what my goal was. And I was like, okay, like I could work a little bit harder, but I mean, I got paid good money as a nurse. I made over 30, I think when I broke it down, it was like 33.25 an hour, which is a good salary and wage. And, you know, I went to conference and went to an event and saw people that were, everybody was different. You know, there wasn't one certain type of person up there. And I was like, wow, like this could really be something, you know, just seeing other people be successful and they didn't have like a certain type of personality or certain type of person that was up there. Like it wasn't all men or women or same age. Like it was such a variety. And I was like, if I just keep working hard at this, like it could be truly something. And, you know, a lady ended up stopping me and grabbed my hand and she's like, the Holy Spirit is drawing me towards you. You know, the next time I see you, I know that you're going to be up on that white couch. Like she had this crazy random belief in me. And the next time I saw her, I was hosting a panel at conference 2 years ago. And so, you know, sometimes you might not necessarily believe it for yourself, but I always say borrow belief from your enroller, you know, borrow belief. Somebody believes in you for a reason. Somebody, you know, message you for a reason, or you have that on your heart for a reason. And so just trust that gut feeling. But I mean, especially now with the comp plan changes and everything else, like there's no reason that you can't do it, you know?
Okay, pause. So what did you think when they said, come to conference? Because, you know, if you get approached with conference before you catch the vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you didn't really fully catch it. You're like, yeah, I'm making some extra money, but like, what like pulled you to go?
I was really nervous because it was going to be the first weekend that I would leave Finn with Kyle. And it was money, you know, it was like flights that I was going to pay for, a rental car, hotel, my ticket. And we didn't necessarily have a whole lot of extra money sitting around. And so I just remember Alyssa telling me, she's like, you have to go. It's going to be the best thing ever. And I'm like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand why you're saying this is going to be the best thing ever. Like, okay, like maybe it's going to be fun. She's like, no, you just have to go. And so I was like, all right, like, you know, I made the commitment that if I was going to do this, I was going to give it my all and just go after it. And so, you know, that's what I did. And that's what I committed to. And so I bought my ticket. I bought my things. And I remember Kyle picking me up from the airport and he's like, you're like a different person. Like he got inspired by the business at that point because he saw how excited I was leaving it.
Yeah, I think it's just so crazy.
I wanted to ask you too. I know that a big thing for people getting started and going towards those next goals is using more of their why as a crutch instead of, you know, that momentum to get to that next goal. And so I know with you having, you know, a mom of 3 now and going through IVF probably was extremely difficult on both, you know, your heart and your business. So how did you kind of never use that as an excuse and more of like I have to get to where I'm going because of this?
So I was just talking about this earlier today because, you know, like even Kelsey, you know, I tell you all the time, I always challenge everybody to ask themselves why 5 times, because a lot of times you don't, like I could say, oh, I need $500 extra a month, but that's not going to be the driving force that pushes you every single day. So why do you need $500 extra a month? And really digging deep to get to that level that is going to be like, I need it because like I'm sick and tired of struggling and having to take things out of my cart because I can't feed, you know, like feed my baby, whatever it is for you. But I would say, you know, as far as like the business and just life happening and everything else, like I'm a control freak. I like to have control. I like to know exactly what's going on. I like to have everything planned out. I'm very routine. But life happens and you don't have control over that. And so, you know, the month that I was promoting to Pres, we were going from double to Pres, and that month we miscarried, you know, before starting this whole journey. And it's not to say that, you know, you just kind of throw those situations under the rug. It's to say that I couldn't control what was going to happen. I couldn't control the outcome of that. But what I could control is still my business and the people that were counting on me and things. And so I always, I would look at it in the perspective of life's going to happen. There's things that are going to come up, and, you can't control those, but control what you can. If you can put your all into something, God's going to follow the rest. And there's an awesome sermon by John Gray, and he talks about, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. The story is already written. Like everybody's journey is already figured out. It just depends on what happens in the middle, and how you react to those certain situations. That's going to affect, whether it's positive or negative, or how you respond. And if you're responding negatively, that's going to have that ripple effect. But if you're going forward and just saying, okay, I'm doing everything that I can, that's what's going to keep you going.
Yeah, I think from, this moment on to like all of you that are on here that are going towards your next goals, understand that stuff is going to happen. So like you already know it's going to happen, and already have a solution figured out of how you're going to handle it. Because things are going to happen. I know just in my team last month, just the amount of things that happen every single time I've promoted, it's felt like literally everything was broke. I was like, dude, I cannot keep up with you, devil. Like, I'm going places, you need to get out of my way. But it was just how I decided, like, okay, over hell or high water, I'm going to this next goal, and I don't care what comes in between, because there's no plan B. Like, this is where I'm going, this is my option, and this is how I'm going to do it. So if you decide to let it take over and keep you from that where you're going, it's going to be like that every single time you promote, because it's never going to get easier. So decide now and know that they're going to come. It's just you're going to have to figure out how to handle them. But thank you, Erin. That was so awesome. I love it. Congrats again. Stephanie, we are so excited to hear from you. Oh my goodness. Let's see.
I think she can.
Got it. There we go. So start with sharing just a little bit about your story, and just, I'm sure everybody knows you, but
maybe not. That's what I love. I'm like, it's such a good thing when people don't know who I am. So first off, guys, congratulations. Like, you're on here because you hit a goal, and that's such a big deal. So I want you to enjoy that for a minute and know that you're going to go farther. So I love the newbies and all that excitement and nervousness that comes along with it, because about 10 years ago, I was right where you were at. So 10 years ago, we were broke. We were standing in food lines. Everything on the outside looked like we had it together. We had a house. I took a shower. I looked like, me, but on the inside, life just sucked. That's not how I envisioned my life. We were going through the economy crash with our businesses failing, house in foreclosure, our car got repoed. Like, it was not pretty. And I remember thinking, this isn't what I signed up my life to be. Like, this is not what I envisioned at all. And I was a worker. We worked multiple jobs. So, you're going to hear, like, I have a cosmetology license. I did that. I worked for a construction company. Like, really, I did everything because we needed money. So when somebody's like, what were you? Basically everything. So maybe that's you. I'm a little bit of everything, a jack of all trades. And when we found this, it was interesting because we were just getting ready to close down our last fitness franchise. And so I was depressed, not feeling myself. So you could be just even in a job where you're just like feeling emotion. You're just doing it to do it. And I just needed to feel better about myself. There was somebody in there that was the Stephanie that I wanted to come out. So I said, I need to get my hair done, Joel. It's been over a year. So we basically bounced our checks, because there was checkbooks back in my day. I'm that old. So I love hearing these stories. And this friend of mine lost a lot of weight, and the first thing you do when you see somebody that looks good, what do you say? What are you doing? She was a walking billboard, you guys. And I'm like, well, I want to do what you do. And she said, well, it's this crazy rap thing. And I was like, you are crazy. And she's like, yeah, it takes the fat cells away. And Joel's like, scientifically, this is impossible, and I'm going to prove it wrong. And he's just like nerding out, because we have, a fitness franchise, you guys. So when she says fat cells are gone, Joel's like, no way. But if it does, we're going to be rich, is what he was thinking. And I'm thinking, I just want to feel pretty. I want to be skinny, and I want to look like you. That's really what I wanted. And we put the wrap on, and it worked. And I was like, crap, I need more. And people are going to think it's nuts, because I said, well, how do I get more? And she's like, it's a pyramid scheme. And I was like, no, but dang it, I want more. And so Joel's like, yes, we're going to be rich. Like, that is Joel. So if you've never met Joel, yes, that was him. He was really thinking, he saw me get excited. Okay. He knew that there was something there. It doesn't matter. You know, maybe it's the Thermofy X right now where people are getting excited. If somebody's excited, if you're excited about something, it's very easy to talk about. And so he's like, my wife's going to tell her friends. Like, that's just what it's going to be. So I said, you know what are my options? She said, you can become a customer of mine and get wholesale pricing, or you could become a rep and pay $200, because that's what it was when I joined, and make money along the side and get some free product. And I said, I think I'm going to do that. So we're just going to go for that. I needed free products. I didn't have money to make it or to pay for the product I wanted. And I was excited. The product worked, you guys. I was a product of the product, both me and Joel, right away. And we called people. We didn't have Facebook. We actually had to call them and talk to them. And so some of these questions as I see come along, I'm like, I would love for some of you to go walk in my shoes and say that you can't do this business, because most people would quit right away if you had to start where we did. And so think about that. Call up your friends. Be excited about the product that you're using. So newbies probably right now that I'm talking to, because you're in the 500 club, the best tip that I can give you is be a product of the product as fast as you can. Get committed to getting those results, track them. Does not matter your size. I am not huge by any means, but my product results that I had in 21 days, I can send those to people again. And it's new product that's come out since the wrap. So make sure you're doing that. And when you're feeling like I'm not sure how to talk to somebody, say, these are my results. The product works, and this is why I want to do this. So we did that. We just shared. You know, I gave people options. Here's your option. You can get product from me at a discount, or you could get results and make money. And that's really how I kept it. I kept it very just open and honest with them, going, I didn't want to do it, you guys. It was a pyramid scheme. I was like, there is no way. But this is how we get the product. And of course, you want a discount, right? So there's nothing wrong with this being a network marketing company. It's the best industry in the world. And with social media, you guys have yourself a gold mine if you're willing to keep going. So there's going to be some of you that stick with us. And I hope it's every one of you that decide after, you know, hitting this first goal that you're so excited that you did that you go Ruby, and that you make that decision to go diamond. And so anyway, so I have not changed talking to people. I still do. And that is the key in this, is the consistency. So having that, you know, waking up every day, like, this is my job. I get paid very well. And the cool thing about this is, because it's networking, you can build off of helping other people get what they want, and it return tenfold of what your work is doing. So keep that in mind. So anybody can get to, like Jade said, there's so much room at the top. Like, I have my goal of having 10 black diamonds, and I know it's going to happen this year. I just know that people are going to hit that mark, and it could be one of you that's on the Zoom that decides that's going to be me. So a little bit. So from broke to baller is what I said. It was basketball. I'm a basketball player. And so I had to throw that out in Asheville that, yes, we were broke as a joke, and now I'm a baller. So, you know, that's anybody can do that. Yes, I knew you'd like that, Kelsey. You'll have to tell your friends.
I do. I love it. Okay. So I love that you said, like, you had to call. I love that you said you just talk to people, because I always say, like, whoever talks to the most people wins in this business, because even if you suck at first, if you talk to more people, guess what? You get better. Because nobody is perfect the first time they talk to people. I remember, I don't know if Aaron remembers this. I almost cried the first customer I put in, because it was BOGO wraps, and I put them in for a single wrap. And I was like, it was my first customer. It took me 3 weeks to get my first customer. And I was like, I suck at this business. I can't even put a customer in right. I had to submit a ticket. So I learned how to do all that on my first customer. But I just think, like, it's so simple when we keep it simple. Like whoever talks to the most people about this business wins. And the only thing you have to do when you talk to people is be excited. Like that's literally our job, is to be excited about what we have our hands on. So Steph, what is like the biggest tip you would give newbies? Because one of the most common things that I hear from newbies is, oh, well, I can sign customers for days, but what about distributors? And there's a mental block. What is like the best advice that you have for newbies when it comes to that?
You just said it. It's a mental block. So first off, you're signing customers. If you can sign a customer, you can flip those into distributors. So the first thing that you want to do is go to the person that enrolled you or your upline, and before you enter them in, just say, hey, I've been getting a lot of customers, and they're probably seeing you do that. And so what I usually like to say is, if you're gathering their information, or if you're, talking to them, walking them through how to sign up as a customer, let them know, hey, I don't want to forget another part of this. You could get amazing results and actually get paid for it. So you saw the post, maybe it was from social media, that I did. Well, I have postings and I can share you how to do exactly what I do. You're not going to know everything, but that's what I'm here to do, is to teach you that. So if you're open to, get the product still at a discount and make some money, you should totally do this if that's what you're thinking. So always give them an option. The worst case, they're going to go to a customer. So I'm really strong in distributors, because who wouldn't want to make money and get skinny? That was my thought. I was like, yeah, I want to get skinny and get paid. Yes, I do. So, it's okay. Again, you're just asking a question. If you don't ask it, it's no. And so there's always those times. And if you're feeling like, man, I'm on a roll with customers, go back and call them, guys. It's not going to hurt you. You can ask them and say, oh my gosh, you know what? I totally forgot, and I didn't talk about the business part. Would you be open to that? Because we're really in a big time right now. Everybody's looking for this product. Like, you could throw up a post for me. Like, there's a couple things that I could do to help you see why you should do this. So don't think that you can't go back to the customers and do that. And if you're freaked out, I was terrified. Like, I don't know what to do, but there's people out there that looked like me. I still took a shower. I still had a nice house, but I was crumbling. I was crumbling, you guys, and was willing, if somebody was just going to show me how to make some extra money, I would do the work. And like, I think it was Jade said, we have charts. I am so grateful for that, because if you tell me you need an extra $500, I can show you what to do to get to that as fast as you want. And so remember that. Like, there's nothing wrong again with that. So that would be my biggest tip, is making sure that you just give them the options. It's not going to hurt. You won't die. I'm not dead. I'm still doing it 10 years in. Still get people that are like, I've never heard of it, or I didn't know you had more than the wrap. So I've seen waves of the company go through, where I'm talking to people that I did 8 years ago that have no idea of all the new products. So remember to stay in the game always, but hopefully that will help you guys a little bit.
Yeah, I wanted to ask one thing too, because I think a really big thing is that disconnect of new distributors even trying to figure out how to envision themselves being successful, because they can't wrap their head around that. So I just wanted to ask, like, when you used to stand in food lines and know the struggle and literally live out that every single day, did you expect any of this?
No. I have to think about that, because I have an entrepreneur spirit. Okay. So there's something like, think about when you were a kid. I always knew that I like people. I love that. I was an athlete. I wanted to win. I willing to work. I wanted to make money. So there was always that part of me that was willing, again, to work. I didn't think it would just be handed to me. But there was that time where I was like, I know that there's a part of me in there that's just not out, that I'm worth more than standing in this food line. I just didn't know what it was. And I think it was more of a frustration. And you guys could be spinning your head just like I was, like, God, this isn't what I signed up for. I'm a worker. You know that. What am I supposed to do? Like, what am I supposed to do? And then, putting yourself out there, I think, talking to people and remembering that I'm so grateful she said this crazy rap thing and told me it was a pyramid scheme to give me an option, because that was it. If I could just make $1,000 with this, it would pay our bills. Like, that's what I needed. And so, no, I didn't see him like where I'm at, like the millions, like that's Joel for sure. But I just wanted $1,000. And I think for some of you, you know, getting started, your goals are going to be constantly changing and growing. And if they're not, you need to just recheck yourself. You need to remind yourself, I'm in this, I hit my first goal, I need to go for that next goal. It feels good, right? Are you excited? Like, everybody should be like, I hit my goal, and now I want somebody else to hit their goal. And, you know, and that just builds yourself up. So I knew that I wanted $1,000, and you guys are in this for yourself at first. And then it becomes about, how many other people can I help make $1,000? How many people? I want $10,000 a month now. How many more people, once you hit that, how many people can I make $10,000 a month? And now my goal is, how many people can I help make $100,000 a month? I know there's a few of you on here that talk to me constantly, like, you know, Jade, like, okay, I know. And Kelsey and Aaron, and, you know, like, it's a great thing, but we all started just like you did. We hit our goal. You got to go for the next one. But I think stretching yourself a little bit further, asking somebody, like, I'll talk to my leaders and to people and say, what's your goal? And they're like, you know, cautious. Like, Ruby, I'm like, no, diamond. Like, no, you're selling yourself short. Like, if you can do 500 club, you can do Ruby. If you can do Ruby, you can do diamond. The only way that you're not is you're going to stop and you're going to quit on yourself. That's the only way that you won't make it in this. Don't rely on anybody else. Know where you're going and just make it happen. Like, I know the type of work that you're capable of. You just got into the club. So do that work consistently until you find people that match you. And then you're going to go, I need another one. I need to go find another one and another one. Yeah. I hope that was kind of the answer. I kind of went off on, I'm a squirrel, but it's okay.
Hey, it takes one to know one. I'm a squirrel too, so it's fine. I really love what you said, and I think sometimes we can just overcomplicate it. And I love how simple you keep it, right? Mm-hmm. Because I think so often we get in this and we're like, okay, well, I have to be a master at posting, and I have to be a master at adding to my network. I have to be a master, and we like get caught up in so many of the to-dos that we forget to like have fun and truly just share our story. And that's one thing that I love how, and I feel like why you are really good at signing distributors is because not because you like go bask in all of this money, but because you always bring it back to why you started, because that's what people can relate to. And one tip that I want to give you guys before I let Ashley talk is, please don't think that you do not have a story because you haven't earned a bonus, or you haven't hit diamond, or you haven't, you know, had this whatever success that you're seeing from other people. Your story is why you started. That's your story, because that is what people are going to connect to. People don't connect to the big house on the hill. People don't connect to the Range Rover. People don't connect to whatever it is. Now that might inspire them, but they're not going to connect to it. And this business is, like I said, you talk to the most people, but if you really want to be a black diamond, you connect to the most people. Okay. And when you connect to them, they're going to relate to standing in the food lines, to feeling like they're a prisoner to their bank account. They're going to connect to feeling like, oh my gosh, I have to decide what I want to do based on what's in my bank account. And when you start to realize, like, if I share a little bit about why I started, somebody else is going to see, I feel that way. Maybe I can do what she's doing and feel a little bit better. And so that's a reason I know for a fact why Stephanie is so good at signing distributors, is because she connects to their struggle. And one thing that has always stuck with me is somebody said, people will be inspired by your strengths, but they will always relate to your weaknesses. Mm-hmm. And so don't try to think that you have to be perfect. We are all flawed. Every single person that has spoke on this Zoom is just, something is wrong with them. Like, nobody is perfect, right? And because that is what is going to inspire people, don't try to act perfect, because nobody can relate to that. People are always going to follow people who are real, versus somebody who's always right or always perfect and always put together. And so just share that part of your story, because that is what people are going to connect to and how they're going to say, I want to do what she's doing and I feel like I can do it.
I'm going to answer this question because this is a really good question that's going to help you guys. So about the 99, okay? I joined for $200, was going through bankruptcy, losing our house, standing in food lines, and we still overdrafted our account to get started. And somebody wants something bad enough and sees something, she shared with me like a light bulb, like I could possibly make some money. There's no price that somebody won't pay to change your life. And so you have to understand, you have to believe this. If this was $500, I know that I could sign people up because I believe it. I know that they can earn it right back. So with the 20, I want you guys to understand, even if you don't have a $50 code, $100 is still an amazing price for this business. And you can say you're going to get about 150 in product. We're going to work on gathering 4 customers so that you're actually going to get paid and get a shopping spree. And you know what? You told me your goal was $200. So let's work on gathering those 2 distributors so that you get paid out a fast start, so that you actually get paid a couple $100s from just joining. So it's all on how we perspective and, you know, what you believe that you have to help them. Are you willing to help them and go, here's a post, let's get you your customers. I want you to see money right away. So I do recognize that this is a question that is coming, especially newbies, when they're like, I got in for 20. This is all I know. And I got in for 200. So I'll never forget that. Like, I would sign up for that over and over. So make sure that you guys just know that there's so much value in product. If you guys would have saw what we got back in our day, you'd be like, yeah, I'll spend $99 to get one of these beautiful kits that, you know, you get to sample all the products. So, and if you need help, make sure that you're reaching out and going, hey, can I have some creative, you know, wording on how to get people to join for the 99. But I just wanted to leave you with that, because I know that that's been a big question, not here tonight, but a lot. But anyway.
I love it. Thank you so much. We're so honored to have you on, and we appreciate you taking the time, you guys. She is the #1 income earner in our entire company. So if she is somebody to listen to, this is like just an honor to have her on. So we appreciate you, Stephanie, so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. I love you guys, and I'm so excited and proud, and I could just go on and on about all of you. So I'm ready to keep listening because I'm learning. That's a key too.
Okay, Ashley Mayfield, the Ashley Mayfield. What up? Okay.
First of all, I'm super honored to like even be considered, you know, I mean, there's been some like bomb people that have spoken on here, like, you know, bubble guts over here. It's fine. Like Stephanie John just spoke. It's fine, guys. I'm going to try and round third and come home. All right. It's fine.
I don't know if y'all just noticed or not, but literally everybody like leaned into the screen. They're like, ooh, I'm ready.
I don't know why you leaned in. Y'all know you got to turn the volume down. Okay. People going to be like, who is this loud, crazy chick talking? What's up, Kelsey? Talk to me, mama.
Listen, I just want to know, Ash, when you started, how did you see what this freaking business was doing? Like, because I think like we have to grow this brain cell for like, whoa, like how in the heck? I just was making, you know, X number of dollars per year. And now people are talking about making X number of dollars per month. Is this for real? And so kind of like really growing that muscle and just seeing that vision.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I did not see the vision. You guys, I was a retail manager. I followed someone for about 18 months on social media. The first 12, I did nothing but make fun of her. Like legit made fun of her, okay? And then something powerful happened at month 12. I walked into my office. I was overseeing a store that was like, I don't even know, $12 million, $15 million, whatever. And I walked into a cold office, sat at a cold desk, and I'm getting ready to do the schedule. And it was like around 12 months of following her. And she was like the first person I'd look at on Instagram, right? Y'all know those people, you know, it's probably your enroller. You know, you hate them, but you're obsessed with them, and you're annoyed, but you're intrigued. And I just remember there was just a defining shift on the inside, because at month 12, I realized my life in 1 year, I was sitting in the same spot and her life had drastically changed. And it still took me another 6 months just to muster up the courage to even interact on her post. Y'all, I didn't double tap nothing. Okay. She had no idea I was watching her. And, so when I joined, I had already the month before quit my job as a retail manager. I knew I wanted out. I was overworked, underpaid, salary, y'all. That's the lie. They tell you to forget your dreams. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Y'all know what I'm talking about, okay? Working 50 to 60 hours a week. Some of y'all that are salary and you get people coming at you talking about a pyramid scheme. Y'all got to talk about your salary. Like, where's my other 10 to 20 hours I was working? I wasn't getting paid. And so I'd already quit my full-time job, and I knew I just needed an extra couple $100, and it just kept coming back to me. It was like, it works. I don't want to be one of those people. I don't want to do one of those things. So when I joined you guys, which by the way, next month is my 3-year anniversary. And so I love, that Jade said that this is not a race, because I sure as crap did not go the fastest, but I know I didn't go the slowest, you guys. And success loves speed, but speed is not the only indicator. Y'all hear what I'm saying? So when I joined, it was just $200 to $300. That's all I saw. I did not have a vision for myself. I was an extremely, extremely broken woman. I'm over here as a retail manager, square peg in a round hole. My husband was ordained. He was a pastor on staff. We're at a square peg in a round hole. And just nothing was going right on paper. On paper, our life didn't make sense. We were fired from so many jobs. I can't even begin to explain. And nothing made sense. And we both were just like, we just want out, but we don't know what it is. And so this was just $200 to $300, you guys. And I got that in my first 30 days. And I was like, okay. And all I knew, the company is giving away this cruise in 2016. I just had to go on the cruise. My upline said, just go Ruby. I didn't even know what Ruby was. I never brain cell for Ruby. I was just like, go Ruby, go Ruby, go Ruby. And you guys, I knew exactly what I wanted. Let me put it like that. If you're on here and you reached the 500 club, that's fantastic. You knew exactly what you wanted. You knew, you had clarity, you had vision. And I think a lot of times we miss that next step, or we feel tapped out, or we feel like we can't go on anymore. It's because we don't have what's next. And so I knew that I wanted to get on this cruise. I got on the cruise, and then I sat there at Ruby for like 7 to 9 months because I had no idea what I wanted. And it took me going to my first conference to really catch the vision. It's almost like I had to walk in and allow my body to be like, I had to shock my system, you guys. Some of you got to start hanging around some better people. You got to shock your system. What are you listening to? Who are you surrounded by? You know what I mean? If you got to start dreaming bigger. You hit the 500 club. That's fantastic, y'all. But I hit Ambassador Diamond last month, y'all. And this is one of the first checks. I was at Disney World. I was like sharing it with Mickey Mouse. And y'all, I was crying, okay? Now listen, I opened up a large check a few months ago and I was crying sad tears because I was like, it's not enough. I want more. Okay, like I was being a little greedy, little hedgehog. But y'all, I opened up the check yesterday and I was crying happy tears because I was so proud of myself. I was proud of our tribe. And y'all, you got to get around people that dream bigger. So if you want to know how to grow that vision, I didn't start out having a vision, you guys, but you want to know what I knew? You are inspired by one of two things. You either know exactly what you want, or you're the knucklehead like me, and you know what you don't want. I know I was tired of not having moments with my babies. I know I was tired of just paying bills. I know I was tired of being overworked and underpaid. I knew what I was running from. You might not know where you're going yet. It's important. You need to know that. But one of the ways I've been able to discover what I want is by knowing exactly what I don't want. And that's how, like, a lot of the way that we got attention last year was not only climbing the ranks, but also our debt-free journey. We knew we were sick and tired of being sick and tired of not having money, making all this money and, not doing good things with it. And so, right now I challenge you, no matter where you're at, what are you tired of? If you don't know what you're running to, you need to know what you're running from. And that'll at least head you in the right direction.
You're not going to keep going. I was just like waiting for
Oh, my bad. I mean, I can. You know me, I can.
No, I love it. And that's so true because, what I knew was that I didn't want to go in and ask for a raise and have somebody say, it's not in the budget. And be like, my family's not going to like that. And so, you know, a lot of the things that you guys are going through outside of this business is God making you uncomfortable to show you that that's not the only way, that there is more. But until you get so uncomfortable that you do something about it, you're going to continue to be uncomfortable. And so many people get frustrated with the struggle, but how long are you going to struggle before you do something about it? Really, truly, it confuses me, because I sometimes feel like we want to complain, but we don't want to do anything about it. And so if you find yourself complaining, ask yourself, what can I do to change it? Become part of the become part of the solution and not part of the problem. And so, Ash, I love that you said, like, you didn't have the vision, but you were around people that do. And even still, obviously, like, hitting ambassador and now, like, looking forward and being like, oh, okay, like, what's next? And really.
Listen. So here's the deal, you guys. Doubt, fear, all of that happens to everybody. Every rank I promoted at, I thought I was a one-hit wonder, okay? I hit ambassador and I'm like, what's next? And I know, like, Jason's so much like Joel. He's just all about the money. He's like, so Black Diamond, we gonna get Black. You guys, I couldn't wrap my brain cell around Black Diamond until 48 hours ago. 48 hours ago, it hit me. So watch out, Stephanie. It hit me. My brain got it. I found the system that worked. Dude, midnight, I'm texting Cammie. When can we have lunch? I got it. My brain, for the first time, you guys, my brain has seen it. I can see it. I have it broken down in my head. That makes sense to me. It's not my husband's voice. It's not nobody else. It's my brain made sense of it, you guys. If you're not constantly asking yourself what's next, and I've taught this so many times, you will tie and you will die. Have y'all ever played rock, paper, scissors? Okay, I didn't grow up in the church. Y'all know Jesus left 99 to find one. That was me. You're welcome. Congratulations. Sorry if I don't meet your standard. All right, like the good Lord came and found mama, okay? And well, in the church, I wasn't raised in the church, but I went like middle school, and they played Gorilla Man and Gun. If you tie, you die. Okay. And so this came to me one time when I was talking about my goals. Like, these dreams, these aspirations. And a lot of times what happens is we're running, and we hit it. Oh, I got the 500 club. I know exactly what I need. I need 3 more customers. I need 2 more customers. I need 1 more customer. And we get it. And what happens? We tie, and we're like, I don't know what's next. How many of you are like that right now? I can't get Ruby. I can't. You just got to the 500 club. I can't get Diamond. You just got Ruby. This don't make no gosh darn sense. If you can sign 1 customer, you can sign 1,000. If you can sign 1 DT, you can sign 1,000. I'm telling you, you can. It's the same thing. It's just more conversations. If you can go Ruby, you can go ambassador. If you can go ambassador, you can go Black Diamond. Okay. But you have to make sure that you don't tie and you die. So what I've had to teach myself coming around every corner is, as I'm hitting that mark, as it's like, I'm about to hit Ruby. I'm about to hit Ruby. What's next? Cast that vision a little bit bigger. Run through that goal a little bit faster. Don't just start slowing down at the end of the race. Keep running, because if you tie your ambition, your drive with your goals, with your dreams, if you tie, dude, you're going to die. And let me tell you this. I sent this to my leaders today. This was so good. Sorry, I legit just hijacked this. You're just going to have to just turn the Zoom off whenever we're all done. I sent this to my leaders this morning. Y'all, this was good stuff. Hold on. Hang tight. I got it. It says, the wolf on the hill is never as hungry as the wolf climbing the hill. Ooh, y'all better get that. If you get exactly what you want, you're going to tie and you're going to die. And you want to know what takes people out more than anything? Even if it's just that first step, 500 club, it's just the first step, y'all. It's just the first step. You want to know what takes people out? Success. Oh, I got to the 500 club. I'm set. Baby, what'd you do? Let's go. There's so much more money on the table. But the wolf at the top of the hill is never as hungry as the one that's climbing. You got to always be climbing. You got to always be chasing. You got to get a taste of the blood. And baby, you got to be a shark, and you got to go do sharky things, because sharks are awesome.
Yeah. Dude, that's so true. And I think, so what made you get Black Diamond? Like, what made your brain process it? What was it?
Oh, well, I can't tell you. Not right now. We up on a recorded Zoom, dude.
Hey, you know what? If you can't put it out here, then
listen. I gotta consult my associates first and make sure my brain is heading in the right track. All right.
Okay, you gotta get approval.
Listen, I'll come back and share. Let me just make sure I'm heading. Let me make sure I'm not doing something stupid. All right. Stephanie, I'm sliding you in.
But I do have one thing. You semi started to answer it, but you know how you said you didn't have a vision in the beginning. There's a lot of people on here who don't have that vision, who are like, okay, what the heck is beyond this? Like, I feel like I'm on cloud 9. Like, I made it, like you said. Can you cast that vision for them? You know, say like, hey, this is where you can go. You know, you have no idea what's coming for you.
Yeah. So let me break it down like this. One of the most defining things that has helped me came a year ago when I was a double diamond. Y'all don't wait till you double diamond to start doing this, okay? Especially if you're on here, and we're not going to go into color personality, but I know a lot of the times, like a lot of yellows struggle because it's hard for you to put yourself in that driver's seat. So I remember, shout out, I saw my girl, Michelle. Hi, Michelle. So I went and visited my rock star, Michelle Torres, okay, in Chicago last year. And I remember when I was flying home, Jason was like, because I just couldn't see triple. And I was pushing for triple the next month. I couldn't see triple. I wrote presidential down on my dream board. I just couldn't see it. And I didn't know why. It was like, there was like a cloud in the way, right? And you guys, there's moments where that happens until you teach yourself how to dream, until you teach yourself how to cast vision, which let me just go ahead and say, after my very first conference, I went to a One Team, One Mission in Orlando, Florida, where I was the last person to stand up and ask Stephanie Dunn how she started dreaming, because she always said how Joel was the dreamer and she wasn't. I don't even remember what Stephanie said, but on that drive home, 2 hours home, I signed 3 DTs. Okay, so y'all got to level up your thinking and your plan, okay? I'm serious. Y'all got to spend some time figuring who you are and what you want. Well, I didn't know how to do that. And so I'm flying home on this airplane. Jason said, don't listen to music. Don't watch anything. Like, just sit down and process. Just sit down and think, what do you want? And y'all, I don't listen. I'm stubborn as crap, okay? I don't really listen to my husband, and I'm so glad that I did this time, okay? And I sat down, and guys, I sat there with my phone on my notes section, shout out to you, my phone, and I couldn't write anything down. I didn't know what I wanted because I came from a trailer, you guys. My parents got divorced in 5th grade. We literally drove to Florida in a truck, and all of our belongings were in the back of that truck. And we grew up in a single wide trailer, and I saw the parent that I lived with work 3 jobs just to put food on the table, and we were still on food stamps. And you know, we shopped at Walmart, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that's like, I'm in high school, like wearing Walmart clothes, and that really just wasn't cool back then, okay? Like it wasn't easy. I didn't know how to dream. I didn't come from money. I've never seen anything like that. And I sat on that plane and I was like, man, my whole life I've been made to feel like success is wrong, because that's how the parent I lived with got away with stuff, mooching from the government, opening up credit card after credit card after credit card. And I just knew I didn't want to be that way, but I didn't know how to formulate what I did want. And I sat there on the plane and I had no idea what to write down. And I just started writing down everything I didn't like. I don't like that I have a house right now with a yard that my kids can't play in, because in Florida, we have endangered tortoises or turtles, and they live in your backyard and you can't touch them. And so when you walk in our backyard, you're like going to break your ankle because you're going to sink. Okay. Like, I don't like that I don't have enough money to buy sushi. I don't like that my husband yells at me. Like, I can't even go and buy $12 sushi because we're drowning in credit card debt. I don't like traveling without my husband. I don't like that I had to give up my annual passes to Disney World because we're trying to go debt free. I wrote down every single thing that I didn't like, because guess what? How many of you are complainers? Hello? Real easy for us to talk about the negative. Real easy for us to think negative about ourselves. Real easy for us to expect less than the best for ourselves. And then you know what I did at the bottom of that note? I flipped every single thing. God, I'm going to have a house that has an amazing yard. I'm going to go debt free, and I'm going to get my annual passes back to Disney. I'm going to go debt free, and I'm going to have a $200 to $300 sushi budget every single month. And I flipped. I took all the negative things that I knew came to me effortlessly, and I flipped them all around immediately. And as I started flipping them, I started deleting the negative stuff because I don't want to see all that stuff. Guys, that's how I've had to teach. Like, I legit have goosebumps. That's how I've had to teach myself. And you guys, that came at Double Diamond. Don't wait until Double Diamond. It's so easy. Why have we lived a life where it's so easy for us to think less than, where it's so easy for us to count ourselves out or discredit ourselves? Like, who lied to you? Who lied to me? Who lied to me and said that I'm unworthy of ambassador? I'm unworthy of Black Diamond. I'm unworthy of being in the top 20 or the top 10. Who lied to me? Who allowed me to think so small when I was little? What happened? Guys, you have to start at start. You don't have to start having this grand vision of paying off your debt or, buying the Range Rover, or, which ain't nothing wrong with that, boo. I got a Porsche on my desktop for a reason. Okay. But you don't have to start there. We all started at start. Stephanie started in a food line. Aaron started at a job being a nurse, right? Jade started, cosmetology manager or salon manager. Like, you start at start, but your job, just like, don't think of it as seeing like this clear sky. Okay. Like, drop a 1 in the chat if you have clouded judgment right now. If you can't see it, you can't believe it. You can't, you cut this thing with a knife that's so thick. Okay. I get you guys. Stop trying to clear the air. Your car, your headlights can see about 20 feet for a reason, baby. That's all you need. You just need to take a step. You got to take one more step. And when you get there, you take one more step. And when you get there, you take one more step. I am not here because there's something greater on the inside of me that is not on the inside of you. My God, I'm here because I haven't stopped taking a step, you guys. That is it. I'm not better than you. No one has something. You lack nothing. You just got to take a step. And our steps might look a little different, but you got to keep taking a step. And the moment you stop taking a step, whether you quit, whether you tie and you die, you're done. So don't stop stepping.
And you always got to eat like the wolf.
Always got to eat, baby.
Hill. Like, you can't get to the top of the hill because, like you said, if you tie, you can't have a top of the hill. Is the point of what she's saying. You cannot have a top of the hill. Stephanie is not on the top of the hill, or she wouldn't be on this damn Zoom. She wouldn't say, oh no, I'm just going to sit back and chill. I'm on the top of the hill. You guys, she's still climbing because she's still hungry. She's still looking for things to eat. Okay. And I think that that's the main thing I want you guys to take away. And I love what Ashley said is there's nothing that's on the inside of us that's not on the inside of you guys. It's not that we have some special message or we have some special post or we have some hidden secrets that we're not sharing with you. The secret is to do it every day and to just realize all you have to do is the next right thing for your business, the next right thing for your family, the next right thing for your future. And when you do that, you'll find yourself waking up dreaming bigger and being like, whoa, I didn't expect that paycheck, but if I can make this, what if I can make that? And if I see this person doing that, I don't need a Range Rover, but I might need a Cadillac. I might not need a Cadillac, but I just want something that drives, right? It just starts with something. And so just give yourself some grace and allow yourself to grow in this journey because, like she said, we all start somewhere, and your journey is going to be what is going to get you there. It's not about the destination. It's about embracing this. And, I was talking to somebody and I was like, it's weird because when you have this big goal for so long, I joined, it's actually my 4-year anniversary today, which is crazy. But I joined 4 years ago, and I joined in a couple of days after I joined. My husband was like, so how far do you actually think you could go? And I was like, ambassador. I just was like, ambassador, why else would I join? Right? Why else would I join this? And it was just one of those things where when you hit it, it's like, okay, that was an amazing journey, but I'm not done. I'm just getting started. And Stephanie probably feels that same way. Ashley probably feels that same way. Cheyenne probably feels that same way. It's you'll just keep going. And we just want to let you know that we're on this journey with you. We're locking arms and we're right alongside of you. And we're so happy that you guys invested in your business and we're even on this tonight. Kudos to you. Give yourself a freaking pat on the back and recognize that like this was the next right thing you did for your business. Now plan out what's the next right thing you're doing tomorrow. What's the next right thing you're going to do the day after that? And you will just see it will become this habit and you'll not even recognize yourself. And that's the best feeling is when you can wake up and be like, wait, who am I? Like, I didn't really know if this could happen. I just was crazy enough to think maybe for a second that it could be me. And if you're just crazy enough to believe it for a second, it can actually happen. Shay, do you want to end with anything?
Well, I was going to say, and how cool is it to know that we're all taking a next step? You know, like it's never just you as a newbie or you reaching that first goal. Like we're all going for something huge. And how cool is it that we get to do it together? Like, I think that's something that's so special about this business is you came in to take that step on your own and you get to take it with so many other people and take all these people with you. Just like Stephanie said, how many people can I get to make $1,000? Because that's what I want. You know, like I'm going ambassador this month. Whoop. And, you know, like, how many people can I take ambassador? Like, that's what I'm thinking of, like that next step. So have your next step ready after this Zoom and get up off after the, I mean, this was the longest Zoom I've ever been on. And it was like 2 seconds. Like I've been hyped. I'm so hyped after this. And this was for 500 club people. And I'm pretty sure it like gave more to me. So I'm super excited for all of you. And just like Kelsey said, like the ones that show up go up 110%. I literally just did a training with this on my team. The ones that get on these Zooms and learn are the ones that literally end up being on these Zooms talking. So get done with this Zoom and go take the next step.
We love you guys. Thank you for everybody.
And get this recording up ASAP.